And every month after that, whenever the moon was full, it happened again. And again.
What was that? It's over there. Point that at me.
Nobody knew who or what was responsible.
Come on.
They only knew it had to be stopped. Now, from the master of mystery and suspense, Stephen King's Silver Bullet.
So coming up in Ranknreview, hopefully in the next few episodes or so, I'm going to do an entire episode dedicated to Stephen King. And this last movie we're reviewing is called Silver Bullet, which is based on a novella called Cycle of the Werewolf by Mr. King.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting movie. It's very faithful to Stephen King's work, which stands to reason because it was adapted for the screen by Stephen King.
Yep.
The thing is, as much as I am a fan of Stephen King, and I do like a lot of his books, and I think he's got a rich imagination, which I like to go visit again and again.
Yep.
Having Stephen King as your screenplay writer is not always a good thing.
No, it's not.
In fact, I would say it is often a bad thing. In this case, however, I think it works.
It does and it doesn't. And Silver Bullet sort of has both what works with a Stephen King movie and what doesn't work with a Stephen King movie. One thing that I think you'll agree on is Stephen King, a lot of times, his characters, they are really cookie cutter.
Black and white.
They're
super good or super bad and very little in between.
Yeah. And you never really get that emotionally invested with a lot of his stories because of it. And Silver Bullet, is a prime example of that. Once again, it's a traditional monster movie, which I love. I guess the only character that has any sort of dimension to it is the Gary Busey character, Uncle Red. And I mean, because he's a drunkard, he's got a little bit of badness to him, but he's also a sweet guy who eventually does believe his niece and nephew. He's the only character that really has any kind of depth to him, and he's the one that I enjoy the most out of Silver Bullet.
I think he's definitely the biggest performance and the brightest light as far as the acting and the characterizations in the film.
Yeah.
But I think I would probably disagree with you that he was the only bright light as far as the cast. I'm having a terrible time.
Megan Follows?
Megan Follows plays the older sister, and Corey Haim is the little boy in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
He's a decent actor as a little kid, but is not very convincing when he is moving out of his wheelchair into other places, and that he doesn't have the use of his legs.
Yeah.
But this is a kid who's very vulnerable, who's very, his sister's very put upon because she always has to look after her little brother.
Yeah.
And they have kind of a almost parent-teacher relationship, or a student-teacher relationship with their parents, and he has almost a father-son relationship with his uncle.
Yeah.
But Terry O'Quinn also shows up in this movie. A lot of people know him as Locke from Lost.
He's also the stepfather.
The stepfather in the first couple of Stepfather movies, if that is your poison of choice.
Yeah.
I liked him in the movie. Maybe I wouldn't have liked him as much if I wasn't such a fan of the actor, but he was one of the few characters who seemed to be doing things right.
Yeah.
In the people just, the Stephen King small town folk, like you say, either utterly refuse to believe anything that our heroes say, or take him completely at his word.
Yeah.
Either extreme is kind of a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And the characters at the bar, there's a famous sequence.
The red shirts of the film, if you will.
Where a bunch of the rednecks decide to go out and take care of this wolf problem.
Yeah.
And Lawrence Tierney, who most people know from Reservoir Dogs, is sort of this gruff bartender who has this baseball bat, the Peacemaker. And in a funny and yet strange and yet a sequence that works,
Yeah.
the werewolf actually uses the bat on somebody.
Yeah, see, I mean, that scene, I can't stop laughing when I watch that scene. I mean,
But it's
starts off-
entertaining. It's wall-to-wall entertaining.
It is, but you've got, once again, you know, a man in a rubber suit with a hand grabbing a baseball hat going, whoopsh.
Yeah. I think that's, for me, the weak point of the movie, actually, is some of the werewolf effects are not at all convincing.
Yeah.
There's a sequence where our hero, the little boy in the wheelchair, shoots a firecracker at the wolf early in the film,
Yeah.
and it gets hit in the eye. And this is a big hint to us, so if we see anybody with a bandage on their eye,
Yeah.
we got to keep an eye out for this.
Yeah.
Not for a frame of that sequence does that wolf look even remotely convincing.
Yeah, I know.
And I think it's actually a good compliment to the rest of the movie and the stuff around it that we kept going with the movie. Because that was one of the first times we got a good look at the creature, and it was not good.
No, I mean, once again, like, it suffers for a man in a rubber outfit. Carlo Rambaldi is the guy who did these special effects. He's credited as doing, you know, E.T.
Oh, yeah.
The special effects in Silver Bullet, they really are night and day, because that attack with the girl who tries to kill herself with the pills, that attack is done quite well and is very brutal.
The guy that gets decapitated at the train station at the beginning of the movie. Well done.
Yeah, no. Like, so I'm thinking, okay, yeah. But when we do see that werewolf, especially that firecracker sequence, and there's another point where it's clearly a man in an outfit, it takes you out of it.
Yeah.
It really does. The humor in Silver Bullet takes me out of this movie.
Yeah.
It's hard, and that's one thing I was sort of thinking about with werewolf movies. It is hard to do a good werewolf movie. It can
You
be
have to
done.
commit to taking it seriously.
You do. You really do.
And, once you start winking, then it's easy to keep on winking, then it's
Yeah.
easy to get to a little more broad comedy. I don't think it ever tips over into comedy.
No.
But I think that there's enough just weird choices that it kind of takes a little bit away from the horror.
Which is strange, because American Werewolf in London is also very much a comedy than it is a horror film. It's somehow, and it is all over the map. You've got weird dream sequences. You've got some humor that you're laughing, and it's also a scary film. I know it didn't quite scare you, but it is.
It's interesting, too, now that I think about all these films, a lot of them have dream sequences in them as well.
Yep.
That's an interesting sort of tool that they use in this werewolf milieu.
Yeah.
I usually have issues with horror movies where little kids are the main characters. I just have a hard time getting scared for Megan Follows and Corey Feldman. I just, nothing in me believes that any harm will come to either of them.
Yeah.
So then the question is, will their uncle die? It was basically the only question.
Yeah.
But Stephen King has no problem icing kids.
Yeah.
Right? In fact, a kid gets killed in the
It
movie.
does. The one, his best friend.
Yeah. And again, you don't typically see that, at least in movies. If you read
Yeah.
Stephen King, you'll see that a lot. He
Yeah.
has no problem killing kids in his
Yeah.
books. But even though they killed that kid, that pastiche of horror movies still stands firm. Is that typically, if the main characters are kids, the jeopardy goes down for me, because so few films have the balls to kill children. Until they honestly do that big budget adaptation of It, I don't think we're going to see it.
No. Another thing that took me out of Silver Bullet was the narration by Megan Follows.
Yeah.
Why
is she telling the story?
Yeah, it's pretty cheesy. It's hard doing narration with a film. It can work. You know, I've seen movies where it does work.
Yeah.
But in Silver Bullet, it doesn't. You don't need it.
It doesn't seem like it's her story to tell, either,
No.
in a lot of ways. I don't know why they chose to put it through her eyes. It's certainly not the way they do it in the book.
No.
But it's a choice of the film. And yeah, her overlaid narration and the sort of sweet, flowery score that they have for it makes it feel like almost like a Sunday night Disney special or something like that.
Like, even
and then
how
people get their heads ripped off by a werewolf.
Yeah, even how it ends the film. It just sort of like it kerplunks because of her narration at the end.
Yeah. And then it was over.
Yeah. Yeah. I love you. What's the Corey Haim character's name again? Danny?
Danny, I think that's right.
Let me see here what we got. Wheelchair-bound 13-year-old boy.
They're not going to tell us.
They're not going to tell. Marty.
Marty.
Marty. Yes. I love you, Marty. Yeah, no.
How about I love you, uncle? Your
Yeah,
uncle
yeah.
kind of took a couple for the team.
Yeah, and the uncle goes through a lot, actually. His pride is taking a beating.
Again, yeah, it would make sense if the kid in the wheel, Marty, was the main character, or
Yeah.
if the uncle was the main character, or how about this one for a wrinkle, the priest.
Yes.
There was a lot of more obvious choices to make than Megan Follows. I don't think this is a horrible movie.
No.
And I think that, like, if you in the mood for a werewolf movie, this
Yeah.
is definitely one of them, and
Yeah.
it definitely works. And it has no problem killing off characters that you like.
Yeah.
You get a lot of time to know these people. You get to know the town, and a sizable bite is taken out of it by this wolf.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
reasonably exciting. I think the worst special effects are pretty much over with after the first 40 minutes.
Yep.
And you can have a good time with them. This is a solid, but not amazing, popcorn horror movie.
I guess the one thing that kind of hurts for also Silver Bullet, and this is more just the choice of casting and how the director decided to go with it, was, and Jolene had never seen this film,
Okay.
and we're watching it, and the second the priest shows up, she goes, "That's the werewolf right there,"
Right.
and it is. I mean, really, short of having a big sign saying, "I am the werewolf," I am the werewolf.
It's not a big mystery to the film.
No. So when the dream sequence happens in the middle of the film to reveal that he is the werewolf, we are not surprised. Even a 13-year-old child.
Why are we spending time with this character?
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and that's part of what a lot of werewolf movies do is who is the werewolf? That there's a mystery element to it, and the mystery is not very good with this movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, again, there's no gotcha moment. There's no
Yeah.
there's no mystery really to be solved. Like you say, you know who the bad guys, and there are a lot of like mini good and bad guys throughout the movie too. Like
Yeah,
we said.
there's that one redneck who has to go and get this werewolf, and
Yeah, we talked about it before. The sequence with all the rednecks in that fog bank that's
Yeah.
like up. They're all like nipple deep in fog. They can't see anything, and it's almost like a series of shark attacks are happening. People just get sucked into the fog. And,
yeah.
by all means, check out Silver Bullet if you're looking for a way to kill 95 minutes on a
You
summer
can
night.
do
You
worse.
can do a lot
You can
worse.
do a lot worse.